Do a barrel roll!
Pokemon Go may have scratched your monster catching itches temporarily, but nothing compares to the full dedicated Pokemon experience, and Pokemon Sun and Moon plan to deliver that to trainers around the globe next week. And considering they're Nintendo's most pre-ordered games ever, it's gonna equal a lot of trainers. We've put together everything we know about the new pair of games, including the differences between each version as well as new developments for the series and exclusive Pokemon. Pokemon Sun and Moon drops November 18th worldwide minus the European Union and November 23rd in that territory. Here's everything you need to know before you go out and buy it. If you don't understand the basic premise of Pokemon, there's not a lot we can do for you at this point. You should be well aware that it's a monster hunting RPG where you subject tiny monsters to ball-shaped prisons and make them fight other Pokemon. What we're mainly going to focus on here is how this game is a little bit different from previous games, so you can start planning your playthrough. But first things first, for those of you who played the demo, be sure to transfer your bonus items, including Ash Greninja. If you're a big enough fan that you plan on getting a digital copy and a physical copy, keep in mind that transferring bonus items will prioritize any physical cart you have in your 3DS. So if you want to transfer items to your digital version, be sure the cartridge isn't in your 3DS at the time of transfer. The big decision to make with each entry in the Pokemon series is which version to get. Both Sun and Moon, like previous games, will play pretty much the same. However, one takes place during the day and one takes place at night, which is going to allow for some exclusive Pokemon on each version. Those with Moon will have access to Oranguru, Drampa, Lycanroc, Midnight Form, Alolan Sandshrew and Sandslash, UB02 Beauty, and finally the legendary Lunala. Meanwhile, Sun players will be able to catch Passimian, Turtonator, Lycanroc Midday Form, Alolan Vulpix and Ninetales, UB02 Expansion, and Solgaleo the legendary. In total, Sun and Moon's Pokédex contains around 800 Pokemon, 87 Kanto, 30 Johto, 33 Hoenn, 29 Sinnoh, 28 Unova, and 14 Kalos. In that dex, you'll also find new Alolan versions of the Sandshrew and Sandslash, Vulpix and Ninetales, Rattata and Raticate, Diglett and Dugtrio, Meowth and Persian, Grimer and Muck, Executor, and Marowak. To those with massive collections already, Pokemon Bank or Pokemon Transporter will work with Pokemon Black and White, Black 2 and White 2, X and Y, Omega Ruby, and Alpha Sapphire, and the recent digital re-releases of Red, Blue, and Yellow, allowing you to transfer all your Pokemon to Sun and Moon. Both services are wrapped together in one and it'll cost you $4.99 per year, holding up to 3,000 Pokemon. Now, for the most part, Sun and Moon will play the same as other Pokemon games. However, they are changing up one more core mechanic. Gyms will now be replaced by Island Challenges. Island Challenges will test trainers by having them battle specific Pokemon, do certain tasks, or solve puzzles. At the end of each trial, you will have to battle a totem Pokemon in an SOS battle in which the totem Pokemon can summon an ally to battle with them. At the end of the final island trial for that specific island, you will battle the Island Kahuna in what is known as the Grand Trial. Once you beat the Kahuna, you'll be able to move on to the next island and start the process all over again. So it's basically gyms, but with some twists. Other gameplay tweaks involve hidden machines, also known as HMs, which help you reach new areas in previous games. While HMs are still in the game for battling, you will no longer need them to progress. Instead, you'll be using Poké-Rides from Pokemon that can be called upon to help you out without taking up a battle slot. These Pokemon will do things like smash boulders, fish, surf over water, fly, or find hidden items. Another helpful feature is that the new Rotom Pokédex has a map display on the bottom screen that shows you where to go next, which should cut down on getting lost or, oh hey, I forgot what I need to do moments. Pokemon Sun and Moon will also introduce a special new type of move called a Z-move, which is where the Pokemon and trainer combine like Voltron for a devastating attack. There are unique Z-moves for each Pokemon type, plus some that are Pokemon specific. Of course, one of the biggest decisions is which starter you're going to choose to be your battle buddy while you kick ass and take names across Alola. If you're not sure whether you should choose Poplio, Litten, or Rowlet, it might help you to know a little bit more about their final evolutions. Based on some leaks from earlier this week, it seems like the most promising of the bunch might actually be Rowlet, whose final form has stats balanced for mixing special and regular attacks with relatively high speed. Meanwhile, Poplio's final evolution, Primarina, is a special defense and special attack powerhouse, but suffers from being slow. slowest trend for all the starter final forms actually, but is most prominent probably with Incineroar, Litten's final form, who's the slowest of the bunch. However, Incineroar's attack is absurdly high to balance out that speed. Pokemon Sun and Moon wouldn't be complete without ways to make your Pokemon pummel each other for your pleasure, and for those into boosting your Pokemon's IV and EV as much as possible, hyper training will give you an easy way to max one or more of a Pokemon's IVs. However, a Pokemon must be level 100 before they can be hyper trained. In between all that training, the Poképelago are a set of islands to give your Pokemon some much needed and well-deserved R&R instead of sitting in the PC box doing absolutely nothing. The Pokemon you put in the Poképelago will find items, discover wild Pokemon, and maybe even level up if you're lucky. In terms of multiplayer connectivity, the Festival Plaza will allow you to interact with local trainers or other players from around the internet. Here you can battle, trade, and do side quests for NPCs. In exchange, you'll get festival coins to spend in shops, or you can rank up your plaza to add more shops and NPCs. Standard battling will be back in Sun and Moon, but there will also be a new free-for-all battle mode where 4 trainers battle against one another. You can hurt or help any of the other trainers, with the match ending once one trainer loses all their Pokemon. The winner of the Battle Royale is the winner with the highest combined number of opponent Pokemon KO'd and remaining Pokemon on their team. So, whew, that wraps it up for our in-depth look into everything you need to know about Pokemon Sun and Moon before you start catching them all. Do you plan on picking up Sun, Moon, both? Let us know in the comments, and be sure to watch our other videos in our Know Before You Go series.